Hello guys and welcome to EduShaman YouTube channel. This is Amit Kumar and I'm going to start English vocab session from today, the vocab series. So we are going to be learning certain English words and what is the meaning and in what context these words can be used. So let's start. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, then please do subscribe now. So the first word is abash. So abash guys is like when you make someone feel uncomfortable, when you make them lose their poise, and you make them conscious about themselves, conscious about the way they are, the way they behave and stuff. You make them feel embarrassed. That is when you abash someone. You spell it as ABASH, abash. Say for example, if somebody is bald and you refer to that person in a party while gossiping amongst yourself and that person hears it, then he or she feels abashed. So let's go to the next word. The next word is abate. So abate is like you decrease something, you decrease the intensity of something, like you try to abate fire. And if there is some kind of a discomfort, there is some kind of a discontent among people in a society, there is a need that you abate it, you bring it down. Okay, so you usually abate something which is negative in nature, something which should not be continue, which should not continue to exist. So the next word is abdicate. Abdicate is when you give up your responsibilities, you fail to fulfill your responsibilities. Like for example, if a father leaves his home, leaves his kids to feed for themselves, feeds kids and his wife, then he has abdicated from his responsibility. So it is generally used in a negative context. So you must not abdicate something which you got to do. It's like it's your dharma to do it and you abdicate from it. Next word is aberration. Aberration is when something deviates from the norm, from what usually happens. Like say someone in your class scores 90, 95 all the time and suddenly he starts scoring 60, you'll be happy, but that's an aberration. Or Australia keeps winning all the matches, then one day Kenya defeats Australia, then that's an aberration. Aberration is like some deviation from what usually happens, from the norm. The next word is abstain. You can abstain from certain things, like you can abstain from liquor, you can abstain from drugs, which are positive things. You can abstain from sex, like if you're following the brahmacharya model in India, then that is called as celibacy. Celibacy is not to be involved in sexual practice. So you abstain from it, you keep away from it consciously. So the next word is amicable. So when you're amicable with someone, you're friendly with that person, or you're amicable to a situation, you like such a certain situation when it happens, or you bring in an amicable atmosphere towards people around you. You talk to them in a friendly manner, you make them comfortable, then the whole environment, the aura becomes amicable. The next word is acknowledge. So this is a very important word when it comes to Indian society and context, because many of us, we do not acknowledge the presence of others. We are so much involved in ourselves that we do not care to say hi and hello to the people around us. We just look down and we carry on with our business, which is not the most apt thing to do, most right thing to do. It's always good to acknowledge people around us. So acknowledge is like you say to the person that uh, I accept that you exist. I acknowledge your presence in my world. When you acknowledge something, you accept the existence of that particular thing or person. Next word is adjudicate. When you adjudicate something, you listen to the grievances of the concerned parties, and then you decide on it. You are like a judge who gives a result. You adjudicate. So the context would be like you adjudicate a case, a legal case. Adroit is, we say adroit when somebody is like really skillful at doing something. Okay, so somebody may be adroit at painting, or somebody may be adroit at writing. Basically, some it's if you're adroit at something, you are very highly skillful at that particular skill. Next word is adversity. Adversity is like something negative happening to you, an adverse situation, something which is not favorable to you. Say you lose your home in an earthquake, so it's an adversity. It is not something favorable to you. It's you have to overcome that situation. You have to rebuild your home now. You need to accumulate enough finance so that you can build a home. It's an adverse financial condition for you. That is something which is not favorable. The next word is analogous. Analogous means something which is similar to something else. When you say analogous, you compare two different things. So you can say something like the culture of Japan is analogous to the culture in Korea. The people eat the same kind of a food and stuff, and you can make some kind of a comparison. It need not be exactly the same, but it may be similar. It may be analogous. The next word I have is apprehension. When you're apprehensive about something, you predict a bad event happening in the future. You're apprehensive. Like if somebody say you elect a leader, like your society elects a leader, and you feel that the person is not good for your country, then you're apprehensive of his rule. You predict that his rule may not be good for your nation. Or if somebody takes some decision, you feel that it may not work out well. You're apprehensive about the decision. The next word is arid. Arid is when there is a lack of water or moisture. Like you may be living in arid climate. For example, the climate in Delhi is arid. It is semi-arid actually. So arid is like desert. A desert is arid. It doesn't have water in it. Or some lands may go arid during a drought due to lack of rainfall. So you may have an arid land. The next word is aristocracy. Aristocracy is when, in the traditional system, we had like feudal lords who used to rule the society. There was a class of people who owned lands, and they were also the rulers, who were also the decision makers. And there were a group of people who held that status in the society. These are called as aristocrats. So aristocracy is the system in which a class of people who are identified as aristocrats enjoy a higher position in the society. Articulation is the way you put out things. You know something, but the way you put out things is called as articulation. Like this video, for example, the way I'm explaining things to you is my way of articulating things. The way I put it out, make you explain things, make you understand what's there in my mind. Aspiration is you aspire to be something. Like kids, when they are small, we ask them, what do you want to be when you become big, when you grow up? Actually, becoming big is like becoming big. So the right question to ask them is, what do you aspire to be? What do you want to be? What do you aspire to achieve also can be asked. When you aspire something, you are not there yet. You have not reached your goal yet. You're still in the aspiration phase. Assimilate is like when you become one with somebody else's culture or some other scheme of things. Like, for example, when you move to, say, Australia, they have their own kind of breakfast, and you may not be used to that. You may be used to eating idli and sambar, but after going there, you may have some baked beans and bread. And in your mind, you tend to get assimilated with their culture. You get to your mind tends to adjust to, tends to see or perceive things which are happening around you positively. Initially, when you go to Australia, you would feel like what these people are doing, but slowly you assimilate. You become one among them. So it's like if you're a South Indian and if you start living in North India, then slowly you will start to enjoy parota and dal makhni and all those things. So you assimilate into the culture. You become one with what already exists and is foreign to you. Okay, the next and last word for today is asylum. So you give asylum to someone who needs some shelter because of something, because of a cause, because of an event that has happened to that person. Like you may give asylum to refugees, okay, or there is something called as mental asylum as well. Like people need special care, people who have psychological issues, mental issues, they need a mental asylum where they are taken care of. It's a special place of shelter. Or say victims of rape, probably they need some kind of a psychological assistance which could be given at a particular place, and a shelter could be provided to them. So this place will be called as an asylum. Usually asylum is used Usually the word asylum is used when you refer to a place which helps the victims of something, like something bad has happened to them and they're a victim of something, and then they come to the shelter. So then you call that place as an asylum. Or if somebody is in danger and you're protecting that person, and then that shelter could also be called as an asylum. So any shelter, any home cannot be called as an asylum. It refers to certain bad situations that have taken place with that person who seeks an asylum. Okay, guys, so that's all for today. Have a nice time. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, then please do subscribe. Bye.